Let's review some items that we have. Glenn's not here. I know Tom Valenti will not be attending. He's on vacation. So, as much information as we can from the people who are here. I guess Livingston Avenue, I have a note here, phase 4 is due in July. We've been waiting on the state to do the environmental application. We're not being here. I don't think, does anyone know anything about that?
No.
Okay.
Is that phase 4 now?
Yeah, that's what I wrote. That was my note. And then, one from engineering. Lee Avenue, Tom, before he left me a voicemail on my phone saying that they met with PSE&G regarding the repaving. And that they were supposed to, Lee Avenue was supposed to be one of the first streets to be repaved. Did they start that? He had mentioned they were either going to start it this week or next week.
July 9th is the target.
July 9th? Is that the target to begin repaving, or is that just, is that for the area?
It's the target to begin repaving. I know we asked for some additional things to be done in certain areas, so it may take a little longer than what that window they gave us.
Yeah.
They was going to have curbing and some other stuff for us as well.
Right.
In some areas of the city.
Okay. Let's see, Tom's not here, so Livingston Village is not okay. Livingston Avenue, this is the reducing the speed to 25 miles per hour in front of the middle school. I had, at the last meeting, had passed first reading of City Council. Did it pass second reading? Was it approved? Does anyone know?
Should have been approved. I do know that I was talking to one of the freeholders about it as well. So I know they said they took Ms. Moore out for a walkthrough on Livingston Avenue
Yes.
a while ago to figure out how they can, figure out what works best over there as well.
Well, no, well, I know it was approved as far as the 25 mile per hour speed limit, but I think signage has to go up and the lighting.
That was at the last council meeting. They had approved it.
They did approve it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so it
yeah.
passed second reading.
Yes. That went through, so that means that they're going to put up the flashers then?
Right.
Okay, yes, then that's what they said, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Same thing with the, I know the special permit parking district on Comstock, adjacent to the Robeson Elementary School was passed. So that'll be ready in time for the new school year in September. That speed hump request for Troop Avenue between Sedan and Welton, engineering sent back that they, an alternative location would be on Townsend and Redmond. I have no update on that.
Okay, before.
Yeah. Last time there was a crosswalk needed to be repainted on Route 18 at Commercial Avenue. Tom had mentioned at the previous meeting that the state has been unresponsive to the request to have that repainted, and he was going to follow up, but obviously he's not here, so don't have an answer. He also mentioned that line striping was added to the plan at Roosevelt and Camden. And then let's see. And at the last meeting, Mr. Hightower was here to voice his concern about speeding at Roosevelt and Henry. Asked the Commission for assistance. I spoke to, check my notes, I spoke to Lieutenant Trigg on June 13th. He said that he would address it. So I have that. All right. I received no correspondence in the past month, since the last meeting. So I have no new business to bring forward. But Ed, do you have anything you'd like to bring forward?
Except for instance, Sedan, which the freeholders look at the engineer for that. A cut one way or the other.
Yeah, well, I had sent a letter to the engineer, to county engineer. I did not receive a response to that.
Okay, thank you.
Keith?
No, everything's moving.
The traffic man should be.
Hey, look, I put it this way, all the projects that, I normally would get a complaint about or that, we're part of, they're all happening, so I have nothing else to add.
Thank you. Carol?
Yep.
Chris?
No.
Good? All right, public. Dan, you were here first. I'm gonna let you go first. I'm gonna let ladies first.
Always.
Charlie first. I mean, you got it. You want to flip a coin? What do you want to do? Whoever wants to go first.
Okay, well, hopefully you don't mind me sitting down, sitting down this time.
Go ahead. Not a problem.
Okay, my new concern is going to be with the situation with Paul Robeson School opening. I'm not used to the traffic meeting being ahead of the city council meeting, but from the holiday. But my point is, okay, for crossing guards, I'm hoping that you guys can raise the price to $15 an hour due to where you're going to need at least 7 crossing guards for Paul Robeson School opening up. So I hope you can look into that. That main eye, like I said, is Paul Robeson opening up, and then as far as the city said at the council meeting, that to ask you what are the teachers going to get some type of sticker they put in their window or something due to where that's residential parking. That I was told to ask you on that.
The residential parking permit no longer uses stickers.
Well, for the teachers.
The permit is the license plate.
Okay, yes, you're right.
The board of ed, for the past year, has been putting in the teachers' license plates based on the vehicle
Okay, yeah.
into the system. So so you have it around various schools where there's a special parking permit area, like the Lincoln Annex is one. So all those teachers are registered. If
Okay,
the license plate is not in the system, then you will receive a summons for permit parking.
Okay,
So-
now will the teachers get a ticket due to where that, also with street cleaning?
They should, yeah.
Then that's gonna be an issue with
I
teachers.
think that should
with
be-
they
They should be removing that.
So
Street.
you're, okay, so
Yeah,
there
it
won't be an
over
issue.
there now. That was part of the plan. I don't know. if
See,
it's
that
on-
was what they told me to ask you to check with you on that.
Yeah, we usually don't have a conflict like that. If it's a special parking district, you can't have street sweeping during the school days.
Right, and it would be on the school, on the district, to make sure that the license plates are in the system.
Oh, okay, so it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand it. Okay, thank you. And also, like I said, once again, with Paul Robeson, due to where I know their lighting system wasn't working on, Mr. Thomas not here, working over there in front of the school, with the flashers weren't working correctly, to look into that on, please. Commercial Avenue, yes.
Okay?
And also, the situation where I'm still waiting to hear, which I probably be going to the county meeting about the situation with Livingston Avenue, where they keep saying they have the money, but to do it, but still not saying has it been approved yet to rechange Livingston Avenue yet or not. Any word?
I had in my notes, I brought it up earlier, there was supposed to be a phase 4 study to be completed. I don't know where we're at. Unfortunately, Mr. Patterson's not here, and he tends to have the most information on that project, so I don't have an answer for you right now.
Okay, and then that, I heard you mention for Livingston Avenue, where we did say to give that time for them to put the flashes up, so, okay.
I think that's part of the plan. From my understanding, it's part of the plan.
No, they told me that state, not the county wasn't responsible for doing that.
For Livingston Avenue?
Yes, by middle school?
Oh, that was approved. Now it's
Yes.
just, okay, we're talking about two different things.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking about,
Sorry,
I'm talking about the diet, the road diet
Oh, okay.
plans. I thought that's what you were speaking about.
Okay, still waiting on that. They just keep saying they got the money, but they
Right.
still haven't approved when they're gonna do it yet.
Correct. So as far as the, yes, the lights at the middle school, that is a state, I guess, issue. But I think last meeting, Tom had mentioned that the city was going to ask them if they could put the signs up and the lights. The city was going to do the lights.
Okay, and by the way, I did apologize to Mr. Tom due to where I know sometimes I can be aggressive when I see that the city knows about something and then someone gets hurt of it. I did apologize to him at the city council meeting due to where, like I said, sometimes I can be aggressive. I apologize to him. Then I also thank to you personally due to where you do a very good job of remembering everything. Well, keep a good update about everything.
Thank you. Charlie, do you want to?
Sure. Good afternoon, members of the board. Charles Crafton, New Brunswick Today, candidate for mayor of the great city of New Brunswick. Just wanted to give a couple updates on the efforts to get more bus shelters erected in the city. First of all, I gave an abbreviated version of the presentation I gave to you all to the Middlesex County Transportation Coordinating Committee on June 26th. It was well received, and it is on video if anybody wants to watch it.
I'm sorry, Charlie. What was the organization you gave it to?
The Transportation Coordinating Committee. It's part of the county government.
Oh, it's county?
Yeah, exactly. And they were kind enough to put me on their agenda, and I gave a shortened version with a few updates to reflect things that have changed. But in other news, finally, Rutgers is moving forward with a bus shelter at the former Grease Trucks Yard location, the most popular bus stop in their system. Should be done by the end of August in time for school, so that's a good thing. I understand that the application that has been moved by the city to get a bus shelter on Albany Street is currently awaiting approval of the county engineer's office. That would be the 410 George Street location right by the train station that we discussed
That
earlier
was
this
the
year.
one near J&J's building.
Exactly.
So now, I know there was some talk about they're reconfiguring that intersection. They're going to put the bus stop across Eastern Avenue, so alongside like where the train, the stale,
Where the billboard
is from the train, the billboard, yes.
Yeah, it's my understanding Mr. Laughlin was going to move ahead with the current plan, and,
Oh, okay.
and it might one day get moved.
Okay,
But it's currently awaiting the county engineer's final approval before anything can move forward. So I don't know if the commission would be able to reach out or you know, I can certainly do that too. But I would like to see that move forward. And the other kind of like active move to get a bus shelter would be at Van Dyke and 27, right near the Aldi supermarket on Van Dyke Avenue.
I thought they brought that up at the meeting with the planning board. I thought Aldi agreed to that.
Exactly. So Aldi agreed to it. The only thing remaining is for them to add it to their plans when they submit them for final approval. I don't think that's happened yet. They do like a post-meeting approval.
Yeah, I think that's, I believe that's already done.
Right. Well, that's wonderful.
so Aldi needs to get a shelter out there, is that what we
Yeah, I believe it's already been, that was a condition of the planning board, which agreed on it. It was brought up, they agreed to it. It was put in as a condition upon approval. So from the planning board side, that's already been,
Okay. So now it's just a follow-up.
it's them actually putting it in place, which might just be because they haven't started construction.
Right.
It's just, I'm assuming they'll do it all in one shot.
Yep, so yes, that's another, positive development in terms of making it easier for people to ride the many bus routes that traverse our city. So just wanted to thank the Traffic Commission for all of your work and for giving me the opportunity to address these issues and help advance these causes.
Charlie, what was the reception you received when you presented at the Transportation Coordination Committee?
It was very well received. I could be a little long-winded sometimes, so I didn't want to take questions, but people came up to me after the meeting and said they liked what I had to say. And yeah, it was a good sign that they, gave me the opportunity to speak. So yeah, it is on video.
And you said you already, excuse me, I didn't mean to tell you, you said you already spoke to Rutgers about this, you met with Rutgers?
I met with Frank Wong, the planning person, and Anthony Calcato, the facilities person, and they seemed to really like the ideas I had. One other thing while we're here, I know you mentioned the shelter that you put in outside the supermarket.
Yeah.
You mentioned that Rutgers might be changing one of the two
Yes.
shuttle routes to,
Yes.
to stop there as well as the
Yeah.
other one.
My understanding is it's stopping there now. That's what I'm told.
Okay, both of them are, because there's the one and the two. I know the one
I
of them.
have to double check on both.
Okay.
Double check on both.
Because I think if there's going to be changes to the route, it's a great time to really take a holistic look at it and make sure that
For the
it
school year, right?
makes the most sense and get it done over the summer and make sure, I kind of, I think I expressed to you guys that, they created two different routes and that created some confusion. Anything we could do to make it one kind of simple, easy to understand route,
Right.
that all the, whichever one you get on, it's going to go to the same place.
One route, that's on one route. I mean, you're probably more familiar with the shuttle than I am, but I guess shuttle two.
Mhm.
Is that, during the summer months, is that even run much at all? Or they really cut back on the summer months?
Precisely, I think it's only the one that runs in the
Yeah.
summer.
All right, so the two doesn't even run right now.
Right.
All right, so let me follow.
But I'm pretty sure that the two goes to George Street and stops by the Burger King instead of
I got you.
the,
All right,
the,
let me
Super
look into
Fresh.
it.
So would love to see that kind of holistically addressed.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome, thank you. Dan? You sat here so patiently.
Sorry, I've been slacking. My biggest obstacle is Spanish speaking. I refuse to learn Spanish. Smart that is, but. So I finally, on Redmond, I said, the heck with it. Everybody wants to volunteer, but nobody's going to help me. So I went out and I had a little 7-year-old girl translate for me the whole street. So Redmond is
7-year-old girl?
7-year-old little girl.
I'm talking-
Because they all know English.
Are you saying 70 or 7?
7-year-old girl said, "I'll talk for you." So she walked up the street with very nice families.
So this is just a recap, especially.
Residential park.
This is residential parking. Residential parking on Redmond and,
Welton, and a small portion of Lake. See, I'm right on the split of Ward, District 3 and 2, Ward, whatever. I asked the person, they said I could do the other side of Redmond, they don't have a problem with that.
okay,
Because I don't want to step on nobody's toes.
right.
So basically, because the library and then Welton and Redmond, well, you went out there and did your thing.
Yep.
So, I understand the council meeting, Keith let me know it's tonight, so what I'm gonna try and do, is this good enough as a petition? You told me to get as many drivers in the house as possible, with signatures. Do you want them in an order? I don't know.
No, so these are two separate.
Yeah, that's Redmond and part of, there's one, the copiers broke at the house, I have more paperwork. So.
Is that your own
basically-
copies?
No, you keep those. I have more, but I couldn't, the copier broke.
Well, I have to-
Copy. This is just to show you what I'm doing.
That's fine. No, this is fine.
Okay.
You You need, you have the addresses, you have the resident, and you have the signature,
Right.
all right?
And the date they signed. And now we're gonna do Welton.
So now, we had we put in a whole policy that was for speed bumps, different policy. Okay.
And also, the reason I'm here today is not for this, I just wanted to see what you thought about mine.
No, that's fine, I
Further
just,
to
I
do it.
think it's important, there's a few things involved here.
Okay.
And I need to think about this, because I get it with the residents, but are these all homeowners, or are these just renters? Because renters,
If you want the breakdown, I can get you that.
I'm gonna need that, if you could get that, because ideally we want the owner to petition this. Because they have different tenants, so the owner's gonna be responsible to get the leases to the parking authority, and so that the permits can be issued. See, it's like, when you have a rental, the landlord has to supply the parking authority with their tenants, all right? So unless the landlord's on board, I hate to tell you this, but that's the way it is.
No, okay.
But you can easily find out who the landlord is through the tax.
Well, I know the new guy, well, part of the problems, two things have been resolved. I talked to Keith yesterday about the speeding, and they wanted me to go through all this craziness, and I just, well, anyway, there was a sergeant out there today on the corner of the lake, they told me it's a traffic commission issue, so that's why I'm here today, but I got home at noon today,
Right.
and this morning, I took my cat sitting, and he was sitting on the corner, very nice gentleman. I understand he used to live on Redmond, he's a sergeant, Olson, but I've talked to him quite a few times, it's always a very, very nice guy. And he said he's gonna be hanging out to address, because we got the neighbors across the street like
I
us.
got you, so, all right, so now
Okay,
you're up
back
speed.
to
Well, I
business.
mean,
So I'm gonna need to have the owner, I'm gonna have to add up on the owner, yes or
You
no.
need a homeowner.
So if it's not the homeowner, don't even take a signature.
You can get a signature, more the merrier.
Okay,
But the
just
ultimate,
know-
what I'm saying is the ultimate
I could do that.
approval has to be the owner.
Okay, me. Well, I'm glad how do you know, I've never knew about that in this home. There's quite a few homeowners.
Dan, what's your last name again?
Sufert, Sufert. So I'm gonna try and have this, I understand you are having your meetings next month, I'm gonna try and have this in before your council meeting next month, because the students are back, and the teachers are back. Now with this teacher thing, that special permit, is that
Nothing.
what happens?
This has been going on for a year. I asked for the petitions back, a while back.
I know, I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
so
my
I don't-
obstacles.
So I understand, but now the pressure's on us, but meanwhile, we had asked for this for a year.
No, I'm not putting pressure on you. I'm saying it would be nice if I could get my act
Oh, yeah.
together by then. No, I didn't say that properly.
Yeah,
There's no pressure.
We're trying to help you at the same
No, you've
time.
been more than
Takes two to tango.
accommodating. I mean, you went out and investigated. and
Yeah.
everything. We're very
I
grateful
just want
for
to
your
make sure
assistance.
we do this right.
There's no pressure, please.
Okay. I
My
just-
bad.
All right, no, I just, wait,
I didn't say it right, I didn't think right.
Okay. Do what you can. Take
Okay,
this back.
and that's good that I know that.
The format's great. You got a good format there as far as the petition.
Okay, and it gets done when it gets done, I mean, but you know what happened, the landlord kicked that guy out, we got 7 spots, so we don't really have as much of a problem in the summer, but in the,
Guys taking 7 spots?
yeah, he had trucks out there with trailers, and there's no ordinance. And this time, you can live in Tick Falls, Trumbull County, park your car on the street, live there, and they can't do nothing.
Oh, there, yeah. That's why you're a resident.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
That's what they told me, it's the only way to go.
Okay, anything else before we wrap it? All right, thank you, everyone. Till next month.